So today's topic is energy balance. Those who have the textbook, it's page number 130, chapter 7, page number 130, energy balance. If anyone is joining late, please help them out with the page number or the chapter number. So typically, 60 to 70% of energy of the food that you eat is used by your body as heat. Okay. The remaining energy is used for your muscular activity and cellular processes. Muscular activity, not just the things that you do physically, but also the involuntary activity that takes in your body. Okay. Like breathing, digestion, okay, thought process, all these things without even you don't have to moderate it. Your body is self optimal in it. Okay. So for all those things, energy is required. But majority of the energy that you eat, you get from the food is used up by your body to produce heat to keep you warm. Okay. So kilocalories. We usually use kilocalories to count the calories of the food that we eat. Okay. So energy in biological systems is measured in kilocalories. So what is this kilocalorie? How to understand 1 kilocalorie? Just 1 kilocalorie. What is the definition of it? 1 kilocalorie is the amount of heat energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius. Okay. For example, when you read this sentence, you will not understand it immediately. Okay. Just imagine I give you 1 kg water. 1 kg of water is approximately 1 liter of water. Okay. So whatever is the temperature of that water, I ask you to increase the temperature of the water just by 1 degree Celsius. If the temperature of the water is 14 degrees Celsius, you have to increase it to 15 degrees Celsius. Just one. Okay. The change in the temperature should just be 1 degree Celsius. So amount of heat energy that you will use to bring this change in 1 liter of water, that is 1 kilocalorie. Okay. That is 1 kilocalorie. The amount of heat energy you will have to use to change the temperature of the water, to change the temperature of specifically 1 liter of water, 1 kg water or 1 liter of water. Just to shift the temperature, increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. That's it. Not 2, not 3. Just 1 degree Celsius change you have to bring in the heat of that 1 kg water. So how much heat energy you will require? That much heat energy is equivalent to 1 kilocalorie. Is it clear to all, the definition? So direct calorimetry and indirect calorimetry. What is calorimetry? So calorimetry is devices that we use to count the calories, to understand how much amount of heat was involved in a physical or chemical process. Okay, how much, for example, how much heat does your body require to break down carbohydrates? How much heat your body requires to break down fat or protein? Your body requires all these energy, right? So calorimetry is the process in which internally or externally, okay, outside the body also, there are physical and chemical processes taking place and energy is consumed. Okay. So when you find out how much energy is consumed to bring out certain physical or chemical processes, okay, That is called calorimetry. Okay. Whenever any substances undergo any chemical reaction changes, temperature changes, okay, through calorimetry you can determine those changes. What was the temperature change? What was the chemical reaction? What was the phase change? All these things you can determine through calorimetry. Okay. So calorimeter is a device. Calorimetry is the science behind it. Calorimeter is the equipment that we use. Okay. So so here you can see in regards to nutrition. In regards to nutrition, how do we understand calorimetry? Food plus oxygen is what your body uses. Food will give you energy. Oxygen is used in all the chemical and physical processes inside your body. Okay. So food stuff plus oxygen is your input. You give your body food and oxygen. This is what your body utilizes. What does the body give back? Out of food and oxygen, what does the body make out of it? The body makes heat. Okay. Majority, as I mentioned earlier, 60 to 70% of the energy that you get from the food is utilized to make heat in your body. You touch yourself, your body is warm. Okay. That warmth comes from the calories that you have eaten. Okay. So heat is a byproduct. Okay. So heat is the end result of food plus oxygen. Carbon dioxide as well, because you exhale it out. You give in oxygen, you give out carbon dioxide. Water as well, through sweat, through urination, through excretion. Okay. Water is also produced in your body. Okay. So what does indirect calorimetry and direct calorimetry measure? When we talk about indirect calorimetry, it is a type of science which is used, which will determine the amount of oxygen that you have consumed and the amount of carbon dioxide that you have released. Based on that, it will calculate how much calories was consumed. Okay. It does not depend on food, heat, or water. It only depends on understanding how much oxygen went in, how much carbon dioxide came out. Through that, it will make its calculation to find out how many calories were consumed. Okay, that is indirect calorimetry. But when it comes to direct calorimetry depends only on heat. Okay, it does not want to know about carbon dioxide, oxygen, or water, H2O, that is water. It does not want to know about it. Okay, the direct calorimetry can only measure heat, and based on the heat measurement, it will determine how much calories were burnt. Okay, the amount of heat produced in the body or the amount of heat produced outside the body. Based on that, the calorimetry will determine how much calories were burnt. Okay, so this is the difference between indirect calorimetry and direct calorimetry. Is it clear? So if you look at this, the image on the right side, this person who is on the static cycle, okay, you can see a pipe that is going inside his mouth. So this is indirect calorimetry, because here this device is calculating how much oxygen this person is taking in and how much carbon dioxide the person is releasing. So based on that, how many calories this person is burning. This is indirect calorimetry. Okay, the person who is on a cycle and a pipe is inserted into his mouth while exercising, a lot of oxygen is consumed in and a lot of carbon dioxide is also exhaled out. So based on the measurement of oxygen going in, carbon dioxide exhaled out, and also some amount of heat energy that is used, Based on that, this calorimeter, indirect calorimeter, will understand how much calories this person is burning. Okay. This image on the left, okay, this is a white color equipment that you see. It's like a bucket kind of equipment. That is direct calorimetry. Okay. So inside here, whatever food item or anything that you keep, it is burnt, it is oxidized, and how much heat energy is required to burn it completely or oxidize it completely will give you the estimate of the calories. Okay. So this can be done outside the body. This is direct calorimetry. Okay, heat energy is used here. Only heat energy is used as a measurement to understand how many calories are burnt. Okay. In detail, they have given about the direct, indirect, different type of equipments and all. It's given. You can just read through it. No need to by heart anything. Just understand the basic principle behind indirect and direct calorimetry. Okay. Calorimeter is the device. Calorimetry is the science, is the measurement equations and all that we use. That is calorimetry. Okay, calorimeter is the equipment. Coming to the physiological fuel value. In detail, they have given about bomb calorimeter, Benedict's oxycalorimeter. No need of learning all those things in detail. That is too scientific in nature. It's not required. Okay. Physiological fuel value of food. This is where we know how much calories does 1 gram of protein, carbohydrates, and fats will give you. So this is the actual amount of energy that is available from food for use by the body after digestion, absorption, and metabolism. Okay, once food is digested, it is absorbed and metabolized. Only then you will get these calories. Okay, it is expressed in kilocalories per gram. There is a gross energy value and physiological fuel value. We'll come to that. Okay. Physiological fuel value is, no, you don't have to learn about bomb calorimeter. Bomb calorimeter is a type of direct calorimeter. It's used in research labs and nutritional labs and all. Okay. As a clinical practice, you don't require that. As a freelance practice or as a clinical practice, you don't require that. Okay. So no need to by heart anything from those segments. So physiological fuel value of protein is 4 kilocalories per gram. 1 gram of protein will give you 4 kilocalories once it is digested, metabolized, absorbed. Okay. Carbohydrates will also give you 4 kilocalories per gram. Fats will give you 9 kilocalories per gram. Okay. One more physiological fuel value is there, that is of alcohol. It gives you around 7 kilocalories per gram. Alcohol, okay, 7 kilocalories per gram. It's not mentioned here, okay, but the alcohol also has its own physiological fuel value, okay. Physiological fuel value, why? It is taking place within your body, within a human body, okay. That is physiological. There is gross fuel value as well. In gross fuel value, outside the body, when you're burning proteins, carbohydrates, fats, you, for example, in a bomb calorimeter, okay, it's not a human body, it's a equipment. Okay, and when you put a piece of protein, carbohydrate, or fat into it, it will burn it completely. Human body will not. There is some amount of loss that happens when it comes to food. Okay, whatever you eat is not completely digested or absorbed. Some part of it is lost. Okay, that's why physiological fuel value and gross fuel value slightly different. Okay, no, there is not much change into it. Gross fuel energy fuel value is the total energy released when the food is completely burnt in a bomb calorimeter. This type of burning will not take place in your body, okay, because some amount of energy is lost in your feces, in urination, in gases, in sweat. Okay, these are digestive losses that takes place in a human body. These digestive losses will not take place in a calorimeter. Okay, the direct calorimeter, it will not take place. Okay, so that's why physiological fuel value will always be less than gross energy value. Okay. So knowing the physiological fuel value is important because it helps you to plan balanced diet. It is also used on if you buy anything from outside, okay, any packaged food that you get from outside. If you look at its nutritional label, you will find out in kilocalories they have mentioned all these things. So to plan that and all, and accordingly to put it in your diet, to put it in your menu plan, these physiological fuel values are important. Okay. Next, coming to components of energy expenditure. Page number 136 onwards. There are a lot of calculations and equations in this chapter that you don't actually require. Only what is required from exam point of view, we will be discussing that. Okay. So in general, if you want to classify how energy that you get from the food is spent within your body, okay, most of it is your resting metabolism, BMR, basal metabolic rate. What is resting metabolism? You don't have to do anything. When you're resting, when you're sleeping, when you do nothing, still functions in your body is being carried out. Okay, that is resting metabolism. You don't have to do anything, but still you are alive, you are breathing. Digestion does not stop. Your brain does not stop. Okay, neurons don't stop. Kidneys don't stop. Okay, all the internal organs are doing its work, irrespective of your physical activity. Right? That is resting metabolism. And for that also the body requires energy. Okay, so majority of the energy, 60% of it, directly goes into your basal metabolic rate, that is resting metabolism. Okay, just to keep your body metabolically active. Next 32% of it goes into any physical activity. It depends. Okay, for some people it could be 25, those who are in a sedentary kind of a lifestyle, for them it could be 25. Those who are really physically active, it can go up to 40% as well. Okay, so generally speaking, it's around, it's in 30s, around 32 or 30. Okay, so that goes into your physical activity. That includes your daily chores as well, your daily routine. Okay, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you make some coffee for yourself, make your own breakfast, you go down the stairs, catch a bus, whatever is your routine, that also comes under physical activity. Any routine activities that you do, not resting, okay, comes under your physical activity. Then 8% of the energy is lost in the thermic effect of food. Okay, as I mentioned, to break certain food, you need extra energy. For example, carbohydrates and protein. What do you think has more thermic effect? Carbohydrates or proteins? Which will require more energy from your body to break down, to digest and absorb? Is it carbohydrates or protein? It's protein. Okay, proteins are more difficult, they are more complex. Okay, breaking it down, your body requires more energy. That is a thermic effect. Okay, so that is a thermic effect of food. When you have more protein rich food, your more energy that you have, the energy that you have got from your body, the food, most of it will go back into digesting that protein itself. Okay, so that's why weight loss diet plans should be made protein rich and low carb, because carbs are way too easy. Okay, you have to make your digestive system work hard to break down the food. So let the energy be consumed in that way. Okay, so that's why we reduce the simple carbohydrates, which are way too simple for your body to digest. Okay, so this is the three main aspects in which energy expenditures take place. Protein has the highest thermic effect. Second is carbohydrates. Fat has the least thermic effect. Okay. And there is one more component which is not mentioned in your in the textbook or even in this image that you see. There is a response. Okay, adaptive thermogenesis as well, which is um, something suddenly what something happens in your life. It could be some stress. You have suddenly moved to a cold area. You are on a vacation to some cold places, and suddenly some hormonal changes have happened in your body. Okay, if these things take place, that is adaptive thermogenesis, that will kick in, that will require extra energy from your body. Okay, sudden changes in the environment. You are not in your usual environment. Even if physically you might be in your same environment, but mentally you are stressed out. Some stressful thing happened in your life. Mentally you are burnt out. Okay, that is also not normal. That is also something new. That's also change in your well-being, right? For that also energy is consumed. So coming to the basal metabolic rate, the formula is different for men and women because men and women have different metabolism because of their hormonal division. Okay, men's male metabolism rate is higher as compared to women because they have more testosterone and androgen. Okay, usually after 30s, a woman's metabolism goes down, which is not true for men. Okay. So these are the formula. Here they have used weight in pounds and height is in inches. Okay, that is another formula, something very similar to this, but weight is used in kilograms and height is used in centimeters. Okay, you can use that formula because usually when we do any assignments, we use that formula. Okay. So metabolic rate, age, with age also it changes. People who are younger will have um, high metabolic rate. Men have higher metabolic rate than women. Body size and composition, that is, the more muscle that you have, higher will be your metabolic rate. Hormones as well. If there is too much of thyroid hormones, metabolism will be very high. If thyroid hormones are low, you don't have normal thyroid hormones, uh, you're deficient in thyroid hormones, your metabolism will be low. And your genetics also matters. Genetics, race, environment, situation. If you're stressed out, if you have fever, your metabolism is quite high. Okay, During fever, metabolism is very high because the body temperature increases. So metabolism also increases. So there are a lot of factors that affects metabolism. Physical activity ratio. This is on page number 142. You just have to understand why physical activity ratio, physical activity levels are important while calculating calories. Okay. So physical activity ratio means what? The numerator and the denominator are from two different areas. That is what makes up a ratio. Okay. Numerator is different. Numerator is a different category. Denominator is a different category. That's what a ratio is. Okay. So when we talk about physical activity ratio, you can see numerator here is energy cost of an activity per minute. The activity that you do, the activity that you voluntarily do. Okay. The activities are mentioned here on the graph that you see. Sleeping, watching TV, playing video games, going to a parlor, music, school, homework, washing, transport, eating a meal, washing yourself up, going to a shower, slowly walking, slow games, fast walk, fast game, cycle, physical education in school, that is PT classes, any participating in a competition. Okay. So these all are activities. There are more activities to it. This is just an example. Okay. So there is an energy cost of this activity per minute that you can Google. Okay. If I walk for 15 minutes, if I slow walk for 15 minutes, how much energy am I burning? If I cycle for 1 hour, slow cycling for 1 hour, how much calories am I burning? Okay. So that you will get, just Google it, you will get the answer. That is your numerator. Okay. So energy cost of an activity per minute. Here I have given you example like for 15 minutes, for 1 hour. That is the whatever answer you get, that is for that particular time period. But you have to divide it into 1 minute. Okay. So whatever activity you are doing, how much energy is being lost into that activity just for a minute. Okay. That will become your numerator. Denominator is energy cost of BMR per minute. BMR, based on this formula that we have seen previously, you can use this formula, or you can use the Saint George and Mifflin formula. Okay. Anyone you can use. You will find your BMR. Okay. So per minute, whatever is your basal metabolic rate, divide it into 1 minute. Okay. So the denominator also you will get energy cost of BMR per minute. So whatever is the answer, when you do this division, numerator by denominator, that becomes your physical activity ratio. Okay. So that is how this you don't have to do actually, because already the physical activity ratio scientists have calculated for all the different activities. Okay. For all the different activities, physical activity ratio has been calculated, and that is what you see here on the graph. Okay. For example, if I ask you from the graph, you can answer. Okay. If you are walking slowly, what is the physical activity ratio? Looking at the graph, can you give that answer in the chat box? Is the screen visible? Yes, it's around 2.5. Okay. So the physical activity ratio of slow walking is 2.5 approximately. So physical activity ratio means some specific activity that you're doing, washing clothes, washing utensils, even the daily chores that you have at home. That is also physical activity. So 1 minute of doing that physical activity will also cost you an energy. That energy value is there. And your body is already in a basal metabolic rate. It's not like that if you go to shower, if you wash utensils, if you are brushing your teeth, will your BMR stop at that point? Will your basal metabolic rate stop when you are doing any physical activity? No, BMR is constant. You do something or you do nothing, BMR will always be there as long as you are alive. Okay, as long as life is in your body, BMR will be there. Okay, BMR is a constant. That's why it's a denominator. So energy cost of BMR per minute is a constant. It becomes your denominator. The numerator always changes. You wake up, you sleep, you take a bath, you wash clothes, you wash yourself, you walk. Okay, the numerator always changes. Denominator will remain constant. That is physical activity ratio. Okay. So using the physical activity ratio, you will understand the physical activity level. Okay, because physical activity level, the denominator is time, that is 24 hours. Okay, physical activity level, when you ask somebody that are you a sedentary person or are you a moderately active person or very active person. Okay, what is it dependent on? Is it dependent on the weekly activity, daily activity, or monthly activity? When you ask a person, are you a sedentary person? Are you a moderately active person? Are you a very active person? The time factor here, was it what is it depend on? Monthly activities, weekly activities, daily activities, or hourly activities? On what basis should a person answer you this question? Physical activity level. It's a daily activity. Okay, on a daily basis, how your routine is, not weekly basis, on a daily basis, 24 hours. Every 24 hours, how do you spend it? Okay, because your routine, when we talk about a routine comes from daily activities. Okay, once a week, once a month is not routine. Okay, routine comes from daily activities. Okay, a physical activity level is based on routines which are daily. Okay, so how does this person's 24 hours look like? Okay, that is the factor of determining what your physical activity level is. Okay, so to calculate the physical activity level of a person, the numerator is total physical activity ratio hours. Okay, so you have to, if you have to actually check somebody's situation from the very basic, very basic. Okay, if the person does not know, I don't know what do you mean by sedentary, I don't know what you mean by moderately active, I don't know what you mean by very active. Okay, I don't know all these words or all these terminologies. Okay, so you will ask the person, how does your entire one day on an average look like? How does your entire one day look like? Okay, so if they say that most of the day I'm just resting, I have maids at home, they do all the jobs, but I don't have to do any physical activity, I don't have to cook, I don't have to wash, I have a work from home situation. Okay, all the other things are taken care of other family members or we have help at our home. Okay, Sometimes I just go and watch games. I play video games. I watch TV. Okay, so they will start describing all these activities, or you can ask them how if you are sleeping, for how many hours do you sleep? Do you watch TV? For how many hours do you watch TV? Do you play video games? Okay, do you listen to music? Are you a school going person, college going person? Okay, do you do your homework at home? Okay, washing, do you, what kind of transportation do you take? Is it by bus, or do you travel, do you walk, or do you drive? Okay, you will ask the person all these things that are written down on this graph, and you will add it up and take an average of it. Okay, that will determine, for example, out of this the person only does 5 activities throughout the day. Okay, you add those up, divide by 5, you will find an average of the physical activity ratio of that person. Okay, so that will become the numerator for physical activity level. Denominator is 24 hours. Okay, for an entire day, these are the 5 activities this person is doing. Okay, so that's how you find out the physical activity level. If the person does not know how to respond to you, that if he or she is a sedentary uh, lifestyle kind of a person, or a moderately active, or a very active, if they don't know how to reply to that question, this is how you have to ask the person, do you do these activities? What activities out of these tasks you do on a daily basis? And you have to formulate your statement in daily basis, not on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. What are things that you do? How is your routine? Okay, what are the major activities that you do in your daily routines? Okay, that's how you have to ask. So you will get to know if the person is sedentary, low active, because when you do the the total physical activity ratio divided by 24 hours, you will get the answer. Okay, whatever the answer is, if it is between 1 to 1.39, then which means the person is sedentary. If it is 1.4 to 1.59, low active. 1.6 to 1.89, the person is active. And if it is 1.9 to 2, the person is very active, athletic level active. Okay, and for men and women also, sedentary and low active, it is almost very close by. Okay, physical activity levels. So this is how you understand the physical activity level. Okay, even if you yourself, based on what the patient has told you about their routines, you yourself does not know to place the patient in place this person in sedentary or low active. You are confused about it. Okay, the person has explained to you the routine. Okay, when they wake up, how they, what they do, how they go about the day. Okay, and listening to that, you don't understand where to place this person. Is this person a sedentary or low active? You can't understand. That's when you can go do this calculation. Okay, is it clear to all? Next is thermic effect of food. It's on page number 146. Those who have the textbook, page number 146, thermic effect of food. So thermic effect is of food is it's the amount of energy that your body uses to digest, absorb, transport, metabolize, and store nutrients from the food. Usually macros. Okay, not all nutrients. We are specifically talking about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Okay, so to digest them, to absorb, transport, metabolize, and to store them. Okay, energy is required. Okay, to do each of these activities, energy is required. So to calculate that, thermic effect of food concept comes into play. Okay, and it is usually 8 to 10% about your total daily energy expenditure, whatever food you are having. Okay, even if it is 2000 kilocalories that you're having, approximately 10% of it will be used up for thermic effect of food. Okay, digestive organs like your intestines, pancreas, they need energy to function. Enzymes and hormones that are produced in your body, energy is required there as well. Absorption and storage and transport also requires energy. So this all will come under the thermic effect of food. So for protein, you can see most of the thermic effect is utilized by proteins. 20 to 30% highest. Okay, energy is consumed to carry to digest, absorb, metabolize, store. Okay, protein. Carbohydrates, it's just 5 to 10%. Fat is the lowest, 0 to 3%. For example, if you have 500 kilocalories of protein, okay, 500 kilocalories you got from eating protein. 20% will be used for all these processes. At least 100 kilocalories, okay, 100 kilocalories from that 500 kilocalorie that you got from protein will be used up for just the thermic effect of that protein. Okay, that is TEF. So your body will be getting, even if you have 500 kilocalories of protein, you can't say that I have 500 kilocalories in my body. Okay, you can only say 400 because 100 kilocalories is going to be used up by your body to break down protein, metabolize it, absorb it, store it. Okay. And there are other factors also which affects your thermic effect of food. Meal size, okay, the composition of how much protein, carbohydrate, fat is there in your meal. Okay, if it is high protein meal, high protein is your diet plan, then the thermic effect of food is quite high. It's very easy to lose weight because whatever calories you have eaten, at least 20% of it, okay, if you have had 2000 kilocalories, 20% of the 2000 kilocalories, around 200 kilocalories, is not going to be deposited in your body. Okay, it is going to be used up as it is without you doing anything. Okay, just by resting, that 20% of calories will be used up just to digest, metabolize, and absorb protein. Okay, so that's why thermic effect of food is quite high when you have a high protein meal. Frequency of meal. When you have small meals here and there, not a large meal in one go, when you have small and frequent meals, that also increases the thermic effect of food. For men, thermic effect of food is higher as compared to women. People who are obese, thermic effect of food will be lower. So if you want to manage your weight, you want to lose weight or manage your weight or boost the thermic effect of food, because the more thermic effect of food that you get, lower it will be, the lower the calories you will have for your body to store. Okay, so it automatically leads to weight loss, weight management. Okay, so your goal should be to always ensure that the thermic effect of food remains high. So eating high protein food, protein rich food, always helps. Okay. Next is resting energy expenditure. REE, which is on page number 148. So from the name itself, resting energy expenditure, it is the amount of energy that your body uses at rest to maintain all the vital functions like breathing, heartbeat, blood circulation, to maintain your body temperature, to undergo cell repair on its own. So this can be measured when the person is awake, lying down, or even in a very comfortable environment. Resting energy expenditure can be checked. Okay. Resting energy expenditure is slightly higher than your BMR because you don't like when you want to check your REE, you don't have to fast overnight or get a complete rest and all. Okay, both represents energy expenditure at rest, but resting energy expenditure is slightly higher than your BMR. And this also is around 60 to 70% of your total energy expenditure. With age, this decreases. Resting energy expenditure decreases with your age. May again men have higher REE as compared to women because they have higher lean muscle. Okay, men have more lean muscle. Body size and composition as well. People who have more muscle mass, their resting energy expenditure is higher. More thyroid hormones, REE will also increase. With fever and illness also, same, just like basal metabolic rate, your resting energy expenditure also increases. Coming to the factors that affect your BMR, which is important from the exam point of view. Okay, factors affecting your basal metabolic rate. First is your body composition. More muscular a person is, higher their BMR will be. The more fat percentage the person will have, the lower will be their BMR rate. Okay, women naturally have higher fat mass as compared to men. Okay, because the woman's body is always in a, especially women who are in the reproductive age group. Okay, the body composition is in such a way that the body carries a lot of fat to support pregnancy and to support lactation. Okay, so that is biological. That's why men are leaner, they have more muscle mass, so their resting energy expenditure, their basal metabolic rate is higher. Okay. And also the bone tissues and the fat tissues, okay, adipose tissues, they are inactive metabolically. They don't require much oxygen as compared to muscle. Muscle requires a lot of oxygen to do any activity. Muscle requires a lot of oxygen. Okay, so that's why people who have more muscle mass, their body composition composes have enough muscle mass, will have higher BMR. Because to maintain an adipose tissue, to maintain bone tissue or to maintain adipose tissue, much energy, much oxygen is not required. But to maintain a muscle, energy is required, oxygen is required. Next is gender, as explained earlier. Men who have more amount of lean muscle mass and less fat tissues, and women have more adipose tissue and less muscle tissue. That's why this difference will be there in BMR. Okay. And usually till the age of 10, a male child and a female child, girls and boys, till the age of 10, almost it's the same. BMR is almost the same. It's after the age of 10, a woman's body will start to develop, go near puberty, and then it will start storing more fat. Okay. With age, we know that young people have higher BMR as compared to senior citizens. When age increases, you lose your muscle tone, you lose your bone mass and everything. So automatically the BMR also decreases. Body size and surface area, height of the individual, weight of the individual, the surface area the person will have. Okay, based on all those things, the more the surface area you have, more will be the heat loss from that surface area. Okay. So a tall, thin person will have greater surface area as compared to an individual who is short and fat. Okay, a person who is short and fat, compare them with a person who is tall and thin. Okay, obviously the person who is tall and thin will have higher surface area through which heat loss can take place. Because when a person is short and fat, it's internal. Most of the adiposity is internal. It's not on the body surface area. Okay. It is near the vital organs. Okay. The belly fat will be there, which is internal. Okay. Visceral fat will be there. So that's the reason why there is not enough surface area for heat loss from a person who is short and fat. But from a person who is tall and thin, they have more surface area on their body from which heat loss can take place. And when heat loss is taking place, more heat is generated in the body. And that's why the BMR is higher in a tall, thin person as compared to a short and fat person. Sleep, during sleeping hours, your BMR rate is 10% lower than in your awake state. When you go to sleep, BMR is still there, but it is less as compared to your awake state. Body temperature as well. There is an elevation around 37 degrees Celsius. The BMR will increase. That's why when you have fever, your calorie requirement also increases. Your BMR also increases when you suffer from fever. Then your endocrine glands, if your thyroid gland is overactive, BMR will be high. If it is underactive, for people who are suffering from hypothyroidism and all, if it is an underactive thyroid gland, it will be less. Okay, especially thyroid hormone. So BMR in people who suffer from hypothyroidism is 30% lesser as compared to a normal adult. With pregnancy, BMR will increase around 5% during the first trimester. And by the last trimester, by 7th, 9th, 8th, 9th month, it increases by 12%. So as soon when the pregnancy is successfully graduating towards the labor, BMR is slowly increasing. State of nutrition, when the person is malnourished, BMR goes down. Okay. As compared to when you manage your weight, when you are in a healthy state for a majority of time, your BMR is also stable, it's steady. Okay, that's why when you do crash diet and all, you undernourish yourself purposefully for a few days to lose some extra weight and all. Your BMR actually falls down. That's why you can put on weight quickly when you stop doing the crash diet, because it takes time for your BMR to come back to normal. But your calorie intake has increased. Okay, when calorie intake is increasing and the BMR has gone down, you will put on weight immediately, right? Then environmental temperature. Lowest metabolic rate is observed in environments which have around 26 degrees Celsius is the temperature. Okay. And high metabolic rates are found in environments who are above this 26 degrees Celsius or below this figure. Okay. So in extreme hot climate and extreme cold climate, people who live in extreme cold climate and extreme hot climate, their BMR is higher as compared to people who live in environments which are around 26 degrees Celsius. Their BMR is lower. Okay. Smoking, with smoking, BMR increases actually. Okay. But when they stop, when a chain smoker or a habitual smoker, when they stop smoking, they will gain weight, because nicotine, which is present in cigarettes, it will increase your BMR by 10%. Genetic differences will be there, just 10% of, it's not much. Okay. There is no major difference because of genetics. It's just plus or minus 10%. That's it. Okay. Psychological state, when you're stressed out or when you're anxious, your BMR increases. Okay. With depression, it goes down, but with anxiety and stress and tension, the BMR goes up. Some medicines, pharmacological agents like nicotine, caffeine, which is found in coffee and all, beta blockers, okay, they can, nicotine and caffeine can increase the BMR. Beta blockers and all, which is used to treat hypertension, that can decrease your BMR. So if a person who is having high BP, if they are put on beta blockers, there are high chances that they will gain weight. Okay. Disease processes, when you have fever, when you have cancer, tumor, okay, when you have burnt your skin and all, you will lose a lot of energy. Okay. So BMR increases during this disease processes. So that's about energy balance. If you have any query, you can mention.